Hi, and welcome back to Let's Play Neverwinter Nights 2.
This incursion is the most noteworthy event that's happened here in years. I had high hopes for Amy. She was a rare find in West Harbor. A shame she failed to heed her first lesson. Always listen to Tarmas. Not that I expect you would understand, but she was the only one capable of holding a coherent conversation with me. Go if you must, but mysteries remain here that need to be answered.
Men want to be me. Women want to be with me.
I plucked her from the mud, hoping to help her rise above the common rabble in this village. Believe me, when I say her loss pains me more than you think. You have your moments of wit, I grant you. But Amy was a rare gem in this place.
Speaking of rare gems, I got a couple I want to sell you.
Help with the journey, you say? Advice. Advice is what I can give. Use that skull of yours for more than a shield. Amy obviously failed to learn this lesson. A fool girl. As functional as the famous harborman thick-headedness is, it still won't prove much help against, let's say, a lizardling sword or javelin.
I don't know, I did alright for myself.
You aren't mistaken on that account. Fine, take this. Perhaps it will help you. Perhaps not, but don't bother asking for more. I've already lost an apprentice on your behalf. That's all you'll be getting from me.
It's not my fault.
The swamp has many denizens, most dangerous, and all of them particularly irksome. But these new pests are not native. So it stands to reason they traveled through leagues of swamp trails and this odious smell to get here. Anyone that desperate has to have a good reason, so whatever you're carrying, guard it carefully. Anyone fool enough to go through that much effort to come here won't give up easily. I've already lost Amy to their determination. Dagon didn't tell me a thing, boy. But right after the attack, you dart off into the swamp, and now you're suddenly leaving. That speaks volumes. It's obvious you fetched something out there, and I'd bet gold that whatever those bladelings were searching for is in your pack at this very moment. But I don't want to know the details. Not to be overly dramatic, but I believe such knowledge could prove dangerous.
Dangerous. Don't call me boy.
Suffice it to say that I find the bustle of city life even less endearing than the mosquitoes here. And here I can work quietly, in exchange for teaching some mud farmer's child a bit of lore every now and again. There's more to it than farming and pig contests. Of that you can be certain. Come back later, then we can talk.
Then again, am I not?
Do you think it's by choice? Having filthy beggar children tidying my place up with inept hands and clouded minds? I could hire a servant for that, but the village has expectations of a resident wizard, responsibilities that cannot be shirked. So I teach them their letters, so they can write dirty messages in the mud or some such rot, only to watch them throw it all away in a meaningless gesture of loyalty. Stupid girl.
I must say, that staff is badass.
That man says decidedly too much. It's true that part of the reason I came to West Harbor is because of the war that was fought here. You've probably heard it mentioned from time to time. And no doubt you've also heard the same vague accounts I have, assuming you could pry even that from the other villagers.
Must have been hard to get a tree to grow like that.
The whole affair is quite mysterious, I'm afraid. Demons were involved, that much is certain. But, curiously enough, there are no clear answers to who fought whom and why. I think part of it is the remoteness of the location, yes? There were few battles in the war, and all of them were fought in the Mare of Dead Men. An evil wizard was behind the whole thing. There were very few Neverwinter troops that actually saw any action, and none of them survived.
I mean, the tip is carved into a snakehead.
And what would they say? I'm guessing that the harbormen are as much in the dark in this as the Neverwinter archivists are. The battle that was fought here didn't involve heralds and flowery declarations. It involved the wholesale slaughter of two forces, with your village in the middle. The entire village was nearly destroyed, and almost no one who stayed in West Harbor survived the night.
I mean, it's got like a gem in its mouth.
You really are a harborman. People here possess the sort of subtlety commonly found in raging barbarian hordes. Ask something else. I have nothing more to say on this matter.
How about we not talk?
Of course. In fact, I would prefer it. Oh, very well. I suppose I could always use more coin.
Okay, so let's sell all the goodies that we got in the swamp ruins. I'm selling these daggers, I'm not going to use them. Sell the great swords, I'm going to sell these extra bows. Keep one for myself. And sell the scale mail. In case you didn't know who I am, I'm Big Los in 9D. The 9D is meaning I'm 9-dimensional. And this episode is... Oh, that thing that's flashing, that's a potion of bark skin. That's what he gives you if you pass your diplomacy check. I'm going to sell this loot too. And these gems. Anyways, what I was saying, this episode is going to be a dialogue-only episode. Oh, what's that? Golden chalice. Okay, it gives off light, and it's got 3 charges of cure serious wounds. Keep that in mind. Silver shard gives me 10 bonus hit points. Not bad. Yeah, let's sell the rest of these. But yeah, this is going to be a dialogue-only episode. Not the most exciting one, but I do want to have this episode just so you can see what these people say. And you can see the things that you get in one of the quests that are given to you. Let's see what else he's got. I don't think I want to buy anything. Why is the Wand of Frost so cheap? Probably has like 1 charge. Alright, now we're talking to Bevel's mom. And she doesn't give you anything. Now, if you ask her about her other son, Lorne, she says after the war, Lorne never came back, and she doesn't know what's going on with him, so you gotta find out what's going on with him to complete this quest for an XP bonus. And if you want to read this dialogue, you can rewind it and pause it if you want, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to leave it up for a second or two to give you enough time to pause it. Alright, Bevel.
So, your father sent you off to Neverwinter, as if everything that's happened tonight isn't enough adventuring for one lifetime.
Well, I got more ahead.
I'm hoping that you'll be back soon enough after you reach the city, but most people who leave West Harbor don't come back.
You think?
I've got some bandages here, though I hope you won't need to use them. You can also have my share of the loot that we found. You'll need it more than I do.
Anything more?
Well, here. You can have what I've got left from my militia pay. Things are probably more expensive out there.
Yeah.
Wish I could go with you, but the defense of the village is important too. I'll do my best to keep the place standing for you when you return. I want to hear about all of your adventures.
Why aren't your lips moving?
Not really. There's an inn north of here along the road. It's the only one between here and the edge of the mare, from what I understand. Plenty of lizard folk in the swamp, of course. Just stick to the roads and you'll be fine, though. At least, that's what I've heard. Good luck. And if you run across the one who killed Amy, stick a blade through his heart for me. She deserves at least that.
Bevel, you're the one character who can talk without moving his lips. Amazing. So we got 100 gold pieces from him and a healer's kit. Now, if you talk to Orlin and you ask him for something, he gives you a potion of cure moderate wounds. But if you have the farmer background feat, he'll give you an archer's belt. And if you have the wizard's apprentice feat, and if you talk to Tarmus, he gives you a couple of extra goodies. But that's about it. And let's talk to Brother Mary. what do you have to say? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, heal me. Could always use that. I didn't heal up from my trip to the swamp ruins. Saves me from having to rest. Oh, I found a chalice of your god, if you were interested. But you're probably not. You probably don't have enough money for it. And again, if you want to read this, you could just rewind it and pause it. I'm just having these dialogue options up for posterity. Now, I'm not picking every option, I'm just going through all the dialogue trees. I think that should be it. Alright, Georg, what do you have to say?
So, Dagon is sending you to Neverwinter, eh? I can't say I approve. If it were a militia matter, I wouldn't send you alone. But I don't have any right to tell him how to raise his child. Can you at least tell me why you're going? Your father wouldn't tell me a thing.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going on here.
You know what they were looking for? They tore apart half the houses in town. What is it?
The shard.
Obviously, those beasts didn't come all that way for a chunk of silver. There must be more to it than that.
Yeah. There must be.
That does sound important. More important than staying here. It won't be easy reaching Neverwinter. I've traveled that way once or twice. It's a dangerous journey, especially for one traveling alone. You might want to ask around the village. If you're going to leave, some folks might be able to offer some help.
Already done.
You may not have trained under me, but I've always enjoyed your company. And you acquitted yourself well with the village defense. Here, take this shield. It's always served me well. And even if you don't use it, you can sell it for some gold that might do you some good.
I can't use it.
The road is as wild as a road can get and still be called a road. And that was before the patrols stopped coming. There's only the one road in the mare, and that leads to us. There's a small inn on the way. Makes most of his trade off adventurers and the like. Galen, you remember him? The merchant? Well, he says the road is even worse than before. Lizardlings and other creatures have been sighted, and in large numbers.
Maybe I can meet someone there who could use the shield.
He's about the only merchant that comes our way. Does it once or twice a year. And thank Joaquin he does. We don't have a blacksmith, so he sells us what we can't make ourselves. With the way he loves to stop and chat, I wouldn't be surprised if you caught up with him.
Joaquin?
Your guess is as good as mine. All I can say is I wish they'd start up again. Might have prevented the attack on us, or at least given us some warning. Lizardlings you already know, although the ones around here are the weakest of their lot. So if you see others, expect a tough fight. The swamp beetles and other critters have been more active too. Adar said he saw a whole nest of them not 2 moons back, scuttling around the mare. And lastly, stick to the road. I hear there are spiders, walking dead, and worse off the road.
Sounds fun.
Of course. Like what? So, you want to hear a story? Look out for the swamp elf. You see, an elf never stops growing, and usually they head to Evermead before they get much bigger than human-sized. But one of the eldest lives in our own swamp. Huge he is, tall as a tree.
Oh, great.
Right you are, right indeed. Do you have anything else to talk about?
No, I don't. Okay. So before we leave, let's say our last goodbye to our foster father, Dagon. I don't think there's anyone here you could talk to or get anything.
Have you said your farewells?
Yes, I have.
Take anything you need from our home. Speak with the wizard Thomas as well. He may have a few odds and ends that he'd be willing to part with.
Okay, done.
To get to Neverwinter, take the road that borders the Starling Farm out of town. It is the only road through the Mare of Deadmen, so following it will be easy. The road itself has not been patrolled for some time, and few travel it. Move quickly, and you may be able to avoid the many beasts of the Mare. I suspect you will see your share of battle before you reach Neverwinter. Stray from the road, and the danger is even greater. I've made it known that you travel directly for the city, in the hopes that the enemy will pursue you along the high road. Instead, you will head to the small port town of Highcliff once you are clear of the swamp. From there, you will seek passage on a ship to Neverwinter.
Sounds out of the way.
Your trip to Neverwinter will be quicker by water, and my attempt at misdirection may allow you to reach Highcliff before the enemy becomes aware of your true route. I have nothing more to say. It is time for you to go, my son. Each moment you remain here brings greater risk to the village.
Misdirection, are you a magician?
You should not be here. The enemy must be drawn away from our village, not towards it. Do what you need to do and be gone quickly.
Alright, I think that's it. So, let's leave. We've got all we can get. Oh, if you have the Troublemaker or Bully feats, then Georg won't give you the shield. He'll just give you some craptacular advice. And that's about it. I'm sorry that there was no action in this episode. Sometimes they're like that, sometimes it's just dialogue only. The dialogue takes up a lot of time in this game because they actually have voice actors. But anyways, this is Big Los, signing off. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. And have a good day. Maybe we'll meet another party member soon. I hope so. I can't do this alone.